What's up guys, and welcome back to Software Audio Solutions, and today we're talking about Call of Duty Warzone 3 Season 4 Reloaded and its latest updates and its latest patch notes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do inside Windows, inside the game, and just in general, overall things that you can change to make this game run smooth, sweet, and simple, and not have any problems like crash errors and stuff like that, and just have your game run perfectly smooth. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if this worked for you, smash that like button because it takes a lot of time and dedication making these videos and finding the best settings for you guys. For low-end users, medium-end users to high-end users, it doesn't matter for who is watching this video right now. This is for all users out there. All you're going to need to do is follow my guidelines and you should be good to go. Alright, let's jump straight into this video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the first thing I highly recommend you go ahead and do is click on the start button over here and then go to this little gear icon over here that says settings, or you could just go to the search button and type in settings yourself and then press enter, and it will take you to your Windows settings like this. From here, you're going to go to gaming, and then from here, you're going to skip over game bar. Make sure you turn game bar off if you don't use it. It's your own personal preference. I'm not going to get in depth with this. Come to game mode over here and make sure that game mode is turned on right now at this very moment for Season 4 Reloaded. It does help with stuttering and stuff like that, and packet burst and things that happens in the game randomly. I highly recommend turning this on, and it doesn't matter what user you are. You could be a Ryzen user, you can be an Intel user, AMD user, Nvidia user. It doesn't matter. Turn this on. Please go ahead and turn it on. From here, you're going to come to graphics settings over here and make sure that hardware accelerated GPU scheduling is turned on right now at this very moment for Season 4 Reloaded. It does help a lot with latency and it does improve the gameplay overall. So please go ahead and make sure that this is turned on. A lot of people do run their factory default settings on Windows and they don't have this on. Now, this might happen to you. If you turn this from off to on, it will tell you to restart your computer. Please don't restart your computer while you're watching my video. Watch it till right to the end and then you restart your computer, because I highly recommend restarting your computer once you're done watching this video. And anyways, for all of these settings to basically take effect on your machine so you can have a smooth gameplay experience. And if this does help you, ladies and gentlemen, yet again, smash that motherfucking like button, leave a comment down below. It takes a lot of time and dedication making these fucking videos for you guys and to find the best settings out there for every single user out there. It takes a lot of fucking time and effort. Please smash that fucking like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new here, leave a super thanks down below. There's a button down below that says a super thanks. Leave a thanks on my YouTube channel. It will mean a lot to me. It really, really does. It helps support my YouTube channel. All right, from here, you're going to go to the home button and then you're going to come to apps over here and make sure that just in general, you uninstall, like let's say, for instance, single player games on your computer that is clogging up your C drive or that's clogging up your machine in general. Please go ahead and uninstall bullshit that's installed on your machine. Now, in general, I have a lot of space on my computer. I really, really do. I have a lot of space on my computer, but for people out there that's running low on space, please in general go and delete single player games or programs that you don't need. Just these over here, please don't uninstall them. They have to do with Windows itself. If you uninstall these things, your Windows might not run correctly. Just when it says Microsoft, please don't uninstall it. You don't need those type of things. Single player games and programs and apps like that, you can go ahead and uninstall them if you do not use them. And then for instance, like let's just say games, single player games, or whatever the case might be, make sure that you go ahead and uninstall and make sure that your C drive is perfectly clean and the rest of your drive is clean as well. So basically it needs to look like this. If you go to your little file explorer like this and you go to, let's just say, this computer and you have your drives like this, if they're all in the blue, you are good to go. Trust me, you are good to go, especially when your C drive is in the blue. Your C drive is what's running your Windows currently. It doesn't matter if you're Windows 10 or Windows 11. It needs to be in the blue. If it is in the red, your Windows is going to start slowing down. Your game's performance is going to start fucking out. And in general, your computer is going to start fucking out in general because you're overclogging the machine and it doesn't have anywhere to go. It doesn't have files to dump anywhere onto the drive itself, and its reads and write speeds are working way too much. So please make sure that your drives are in the blue. This is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's jump straight into the next step. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so just like I said, when your drive is full of nonsense and stuff like that, basically bullshit, and it's clogged up and it's in the red, please make sure that it's in the blue. Just go ahead and do that. Now, something I want to point out is this. If you have a lot of background apps open and you're playing Call of Duty, your background apps is going to use resources like your CPU, your RAM, and your VRAM usage. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes, you heard me correctly. VRAM usage, okay? Meaning it's using your graphics card's video memory, all right? This desktop background wallpaper that you're looking at right now at this very moment is actually using my graphics card. Obviously, it's using it to do physics and stuff like that. That is why it's a moving desktop background picture. And this comes from Wallpaper Engine. I have a lot of comments and people ask me, where did you get this wallpaper and stuff like that? It comes from Wallpaper Engine on Steam, and you can go ahead and download it. It's very easy to do. Now, what I do recommend is you go ahead and come come to the application itself, which is Wallpaper Engine, a lot of people say that you should just right click and then just pause it, and then it won't do anything to your machine because it's a still image. What I highly recommend you go ahead and do is, and I recommend you do this if you have moving background images and too much shit happening in the background, I highly recommend what you do is you go ahead and you right click on this and you say quit, so you have a still desktop background image. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm currently playing Hitman and like all the new updates that's for Hitman, and I'm loving it. So go fuck yourself if you care about my background image. It can literally just be a black image. It doesn't matter what image you have in the background. It doesn't matter as long as it's a still image that's not moving. It cannot use VRAM usage. It cannot use your CPU. It cannot use your RAM. It cannot use your computer. All right, because it's a still image. Now what you're going to need to do is this over here. You're going to come to the start button over here and then go to your settings once again, and you're going to come to privacy. And now, like I said, I was talking about background apps. You're going to pull this all the way down to the bottom, and you're going to come to background apps, and you're going to come over here. Now, if you're a Windows 10 user like me and you're still on Windows 10, thank God you still are. If you are, I hope you are. That's awesome. Great, because Windows 11 is a bunch of fucking bullshit, and they're trying to be like Mac users, and I'm not going to deep dive down this rabbit hole of how dog shit Windows 11 is. And I know people's going to leave a comment down below and be like, yo, dude, why don't you upgrade to Windows 11? It's so much better. Like I said, everyone has their own personal preference in what it comes to computers, gaming, what they have on, what they have off, what settings they have, whatever. This is my own personal preference, is having Windows 10. Windows 10 took multiple years to get to where it needs to be, and Windows 11 will take multiple years to get to where it needs to be. We are getting way more problems on Windows 11 than Windows 10, and this is a fact. All right, if you can get away with playing your games perfectly fine on Windows 11, like I said, that's awesome. That's your own personal preference, not mine. Okay, from here, like I said, if you're a Windows 10 user, just turn this from on to off, then all of these programs won't run in the background using your resources, like I said before, like your RAM, your CPU, and your VRAM usage. Go ahead and turn it off. Now, Windows 11 users, unlucky people, you're going to have to individually disable these applications one by one. And I'm not going to show you how to do that, otherwise I'm going to make this video way too long. Just go ahead and Google how to disable background apps for Windows 11. Just Google it. It will come up. It will show you how to do it. You have to individually disable them one by one. Not like Windows 10. Windows 10 is very simple and easy to use. All right. Awesome. From here, I highly recommend you come to the home button. And then from here, something that I would recommend you go ahead and do, and I know a lot of people skip out on this, and I do it as well. Don't worry. I do it as well. Is the update your Windows. Okay, update your Windows. For the love of fuck, update your Windows. If Call of Duty is doing updates, your Windows needs to stay up to date as well. If your Windows is not up to date, then Call of Duty is always up to date, and you're always updating Call of Duty, but you're not updating your Windows, they're not going to run well together. Okay, same with your GPU, because that's the next step I'm going to get to. All right, so the next step is obviously updating your GPU drivers. So we go out of this, and then we go to this over here. I obviously have GeForce Experience. I'm an Nvidia user. If you're an AMD user, just make sure that you're on the latest graphics card drivers. You come to drivers over here and make sure that you're on the latest graphics card drivers. This is 556.12. It's the latest graphics card drivers that's out right now at this very moment for Nvidia users. Now, I know that a lot of people roll back their drivers maybe once or twice or even a couple of times because they have to find a sweet spot driver for their specific graphics card. Specific graphics cards like specific drivers. Now, I don't have any problem running the latest graphics card drivers with my 4070 Super. It does not have any problem running this latest driver. But if you are struggling with problems or you're having problems with the latest driver, roll one back or go find on the website, on Call of Duty's website, which is recommended. And you can actually go ahead and find it in the file, in the documents folder, in the config file, which is the recommended driver for just in general everyone to be using right now at this very moment. And that's what I'm going to go over right now at this very moment, is the config file settings that you're going to need to change and make sure that that is correct. All right, let's jump straight into that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the next step is obviously the config file. Like I was saying, you're going to come to the file explorer like this, and you're going to go to documents, and you're going to go to Call of Duty, go to players, and you're going to come to this file over here that says option4.cod23, and then you're just going to double click on it and it will open up. Or what you can do is right click on it, say open with, and then just say notepad and say always use this app, and then just say okay, and then open this up and then open this up like this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see here, what I was talking about earlier on, this is the recommended driver. It literally states it in the config file itself. Recommended display driver version seen during last game startup. This was seen during the game startup, all right? Then it says, do not modify last detected GPU driver version, which is 556.12. I should not modify it. It's telling me not to go back to this driver. But please don't listen to this config file. And in general, don't listen to Call of Duty because they smoke crack and they don't know what the fuck they're doing in the first place. So that's why people are making FPS boost guide videos, because Call of Duty doesn't give a fuck about the community in general or the people that's playing their fucking game. They just release new games. Like Black Ops 6 is coming out right now, and I don't even know how fuck that game's going to be in general. They don't care about their community and how their game performs. They just care about releasing Call of Duties and releasing battle passes and releasing stuff so you can spend money on it, and then they release a new game like just out of nowhere, and then a new season comes out, a new season comes out, a new season you keep buying the battle pass like a dumbass, right? And then the new Call of Duty comes out and your stuff doesn't move over. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, Call of Duty in general, Activision themselves, the developers, they smoke a lot of fucking crack, and I don't trust them, all right? And that's why I do my own research and find out what's the best settings for you guys. And that's why you guys watch my videos in general, is because I don't take shit when it comes to Activision themselves and Call of Duty. I talk smack about them all the time. I don't give a rat's ass. I wouldn't fucking work for them for a penny. I would just rather just fucking be like, go fuck yourself. I do not want to work for you guys because you guys are a bunch of cunts and you don't care about your fucking community in general. Sorry for the wording, but yeah, that's how I feel, and I'm pretty sure that's how the rest of the community feels as well, because the game's so fucking broken. We have like the best of fucking machines that can literally launch nuclear missiles. I can probably launch a space shuttle with my machine. It's the equivalent of that, but I can't run Call of Duty correctly. But the rest of my games on my computer runs perfectly fine. That's one fucked up situation. It just shows you that Activision does not care about the community. Sorry that I'm ranting, raving, but anyways, ladies and gentlemen, so like I said, just be on the latest graphics card drivers, or go ahead and go to this driver over here, or from this driver all the way to 556.12 for Nvidia users out there. Now, if you're an AMD user, just make sure that you're on the latest graphics card driver, or go ahead and look inside your config file to see which one should you be using right now at this very moment. Okay. This is something I just want to go over, is these two over here. It's very, very important, and it plays a massive role on Call of Duty just in general, is the thread count for handling the job queue. Now, don't read that wrong, okay? Because it says thread count. Yet again, like I said, I don't trust Call of Duty. That shouldn't be saying thread, okay? Even though that's just how they basically coded this config file. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, so this is not your threads, okay? This is your cores. It's your total cores. You're going to need to put your total cores inside here. Now, I have 8 performance cores, okay? And then I have efficient cores because I have a 14700K CPU. Now, if you don't know what CPU you have, you can just right click on your taskbar over here and then go to Task Manager and then go to Performance, and it will tell you your CPU, and it will tell you which CPU you have, and then it will tell you over here what cores you have and your logical processors, so your total threads, and it will tell you everything about your GPU and your CPU and everything in general, your whole computer. It will tell you everything about your computer over here, right? So you can just click on it, tell you your stuff, click on your GPU itself, and it will tell you everything that you need to know. But the most important thing is your CPU, right? Now, as you can see, it says here I have a total cores of 20. Now, I would put 20 inside there, but I won't because I have a newer generation CPU. It's a 14700K. So if you do have performance cores, put your performance cores inside here. My performance cores for my 14700K is 8. Okay, so I put 8 inside here. Now, if you have a lower generation Intel CPU, you're going to put your total cores inside there. You won't have efficient cores and you won't have performance cores. You'll just have total cores and total threads. Put your total cores inside there. So let's just say your total cores is, let's make an example, 12. Put 12 inside there. Let's just say it's 8. You put 8 inside there. Okay, you get my point. Now, when it comes to AMD and Ryzen CPUs, it's also your total cores. Please go ahead and put your total cores inside here. Yet again, so highest is 16. So let's just say you got 16 cores from Ryzen, okay? Or Intel, it doesn't matter. You got 16 cores. Please go ahead and stop at 16. Do not go over this, because if you go over this number, it will not work correctly. Okay, it's very, very important because it says 1 to 16. Okay, that's like someone saying my car goes from 0 to 200, but you put there 500, but the car can't reach that. So do not fuck around with this. Do not put something in here that's not going to fucking work. Obviously, common knowledge. All right. So like I said, your total cores inside here. Mine is performance cores. So I put my performance cores inside here and it's 8. That's why I have that at 8. Okay. Now, this is also very, very important, is this scale over here. This is your VRAM target scale inside the game. Now, when you change this in here, it will change it in-game as well. So you can go ahead and change it in-game, or you can change it in here. Currently, when I launch my game, I have my VRAM scale target at 80%, and I leave it there. I don't move it to 90, and I don't drop it down with my specific rig that I'm currently running. I basically am running a 14700K, a 4070 Super, and then I am running 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM at 6000 megahertz. Now I run this at 80%, and I always run it at 80% because it runs it at a sweet spot with 80. Now for lower generation graphics cards out there, you can fine tune it in this config file, like literally by just typing a 6 here, like this, then it will use 60% of your VRAM target, okay? And then you can just type it in your own personal preference in here, depending on the GPU that you have. So if you have a lower generation GPU, you type in 6, so it uses 60% of your VRAM target scale, right? Now, what I recommend is just leaving it at 80 like this. If yours is on 80, if yours is on 60, leave it as is. We will tweak it in-game, and I'll show you what you're going to need to use in-game. And what to tweak it to for lower generation graphics cards. All right. Now, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of other things inside here that you can go ahead and modify in the config file, like the blood count and like the, like things that's just in general, like clogging up graphics. But I don't really recommend tweaking those things because some of those things can actually break the game and then you cannot physically run this game. You will click start on this game to play it, and then it will just go away and the start button will come up again. It will not launch at all. So please don't fuck around with like stuff that's way at the bottom, like blood count and stuff like that. Yeah, I know you can tweak some of them. I don't recommend it. If you have a machine that runs this game perfectly fine or runs it okay and you're just having issues with FPS or a little bit of stuttering and stuff like that, just follow my guidelines. Just don't, please, for the love of fuck, don't go change the blood count now and go watch another YouTuber and be like, okay, wait, let's see what rest I can do in this config file to get more FPS out of my machine. Don't do that. You're going to fuck up the game and you're going to sit with a game that doesn't fucking work, all right? You obviously already struggling with the game. You want it to be fixed. You want it to run perfectly fine. Now you went to go change something. Now your game doesn't work at all. Don't do that. Please, for the love of fuck, don't do that. All right. From here, once you're done changing everything inside you that you need to change, you're going to go to File, go to Save, and then exit out of this, and then exit out of this, and be on your desktop. All right. So jump straight into the next step. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So the next step I highly recommend you go ahead and do is this over here. If you are an Nvidia user like me, you just right click on your desktop like this and open up Nvidia Control Panel, or just go to the search button and type in Nvidia Control Panel and let it open like this. The first thing you're going to need to do is come to Adjust Image Settings with Preview and come over here. You're going to have it at Use the Advanced 3D Image Settings and click on Take Me There, and it's basically just going to take you to Manage 3D Settings. But before we go there, I highly recommend that you go to Use My Personal Preference. So it's using your preference in general. If you have a, let's say, a decent enough computer, let's say high end, you leave this at quality, okay? I'm talking high end, like my machine's not even a high end machine anymore, even though it's a 14700K with a 4070 Super. It's not classified as a high end machine anymore because they're talking about, like, you know how it goes. You know how it goes. You buy parts now that's brand new. A month later, there's fucking parts that beat yours. Basically, they can be off and they'll still beat yours. Basically, that's just how fucking computers work in general. Anyways, computers get out of date very, very quick. Parts and stuff like that. Anyways, so let's just make it that you have a decent enough computer. Let me just say that. You have a decent enough computer that can run this game really, really well. Have this at quality. If you have a medium end machine, go over here to balanced, okay? It will say balance over here. And then if you have a low end machine that is struggling with this game and you're struggling with FPS in general, then go over here to performance and have it at performance. You will actually see the quality change over here. What I would recommend is if you know that, okay, wait, my machine can run this game perfectly fine. It runs at over 60 FPS, but I'm having a little bit of stutter and I'm having a little bit of problems with my FPS and stuff like that. then you don't have to change this to performance and make it look this dog shit. Don't worry, because then we can change the settings in the game, and I'll show you what settings you should be using to make your game look good without making this and your games, the rest of your games, also look like dog shit. Then rather leave it here in the middle where it says balance, and now you will see that this looks perfectly fine. But when you have it in quality and you push it all the way to quality, this looks fucking amazing, and then you're good to go. So medium end to about high end machines, leave it at quality over here, and you just say apply like this. And then once it's been applied, you'll see your screen might flash a couple of times, or it'll just apply it. Then just go over here to use the advanced 3D image settings and click on take me there, which is basically just going to take you to manage 3D settings. Now, every time you update your graphics card drivers, this happens a lot, okay? Now, sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. Now, sometimes when you update your graphics card drivers, the things inside here changes and you won't even know that it changed unless you come in here and come look, okay? Now, I highly recommend you just copy every single thing inside here. I'm not going to fucking like go over every single thing in here, but I'll go over the important ones. So just copy everything I have inside here and you should be good to go. So CUDA GPUs, make sure it's on all over here. So you just click on this, make sure that this is checked to select your dedicated graphics card. So just make sure you select it like this and then scroll a little bit down and then have this preferred system fallback. You have your DSR factors off. That's like your super resolution. So obviously if you want to upscale your game to like 4K and stuff like that, you can go ahead and do that, but it's your own personal preference. I leave mine off. Low latency mode, a lot of people has questioned me, yo dude, like I have ultra and I have on, which one do I choose? Okay, if you have a decent enough machine that is paired up very, very well, so let's say like for instance my machine 14700K with a 4070 Super, they run very well together, and my RAM, then I leave it on. But if I have, for instance, let's just make it an example, if I had a 4090 or something like that, I would put this at ultra, so that my low latency mode is helping my graphics card talk with my CPU a little bit better. Okay, so that's something that I would recommend you go ahead and do, is if you have a higher end GPU than your CPU and it's much newer, then go with ultra over here. Okay, but if your machine is basically, you know that the CPU and GPU is basically the same, they came out almost the same year or whatever the case might be, or your CPU still holds up with your GPU perfectly fine, then leave that at on. That's how I have mine, and I recommend you should also just leave it at on. I highly recommend it. All right, from here you're going to come down, and then where it says OpenGL rendering GPU, make sure that you have your GPU selected and not auto select. And then from here you go to power management mode and make sure that this says prefer maximum performance, and you should be good to go. All right, I don't know why I said maximum, so weird, fucking Optimus Prime. Anyways, you're gonna go from here. I don't want to, like, every fucking video that I make, I always explain everything inside here, like detailed by detailed. I'll explain everything in here, but then I get a lot of comments of people telling me like, dude, yo, dude, get to the point, get to the point. So here's my fucking point: copy my settings and you should be good to go. All right, there you fucking go. All right, are you pleased with the fucking comments that come down and be like, yo dude, get to the fucking point? And like, there you go, fucking copy my settings, you'll be good to go. All right, like fucking lacquer guys. Anyways, one option I would recommend that you do change in here is this over here. And for the people that says get to the fucking point, this is a very important fucking point, so fucking listen up, you fucking chads. So quality is obviously, you're going to select this if you have a decent enough graphics card. Now if you have something like an RX 580 or something less lower than that, and you have a dog shit graphics card, please don't leave a comment down below and be like, yo dude, my game's running like dog shit, your FPS boost guide didn't work. It's not going to work for you, because your graphics card is literally the equivalent of a calculator. It's literally the equivalent of playing the game on a piece of paper and pen and running around and writing on the piece of paper, I just shot a guy with a Car 98. It's the equivalent of that. So please don't leave a fucking comment down below that you have a low-end GPU and you're trying to play COD, rather than go play Tetris and enjoy yourself. All right? That's just what I'm going to tell you right now, straightforward. We're living in 2024. We're almost in 2025. Please update your fucking graphics card. Don't leave a comment down below, yo dude, I'm running a fucking RX 580. The game runs like dog shit. Then it's gonna run like dog shit. What did you expect? All right, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, so if you have a decent enough computer, quality. If you have a medium-end machine, performance. If you have a low-end gaming graphics card, so let's say, for instance, I don't know, like a 10 series. Let's just say like a 1060 or 1070 or 1080. Go with high performance here and you should be good to go. I can promise you this, you should be good to go. Right, from here, you're going to have this off. on the threaded optimization. This is very good for Ryzen machines and then also Intel machines that has hyper threading. Please go ahead and turn this on. And then all of these at the bottom is just fucking virtual reality. You are not playing a virtual reality game, so you should be good to go. And then just say apply over here. Screen might flash a couple of times. Don't worry about it. You should be good to go over here. Once you apply these settings, it will flash a couple of times to apply the settings for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, from here, I highly recommend you come to config, surrounding the physics, and you're going to come inside here. And then obviously your GPU is what handles your physics of your computer in general, okay? From here, I would recommend selecting your dedicated graphics card. Now, basically 95% of the gaming community uses a dedicated graphics card, a PCIe graphics card that's plugged into the PCIe slot, okay? Having a dedicated GPU. Then you get about like 5% of the people that's playing on an APU unit, meaning you have a CPU, no dedicated graphics card, but you have an APU unit, meaning it has an onboard graphics built into the CPU. Then I would select CPU. Then there's a reason why I would select CPU, because you have an APU unit. But if you have a dedicated graphics card and it says here Nvidia, whatever graphics card you have, please go ahead for the love of fuck and select it. And then say apply. If you haven't done this already, I have done this already, so I can't say apply. Please go ahead and apply this. From here, you're going to go to adjust desktop color settings and come inside here. Now, I don't personally use Nvidia filters because Nvidia filters actually decreases FPS and it decreases performance. Now, for me, I'm running a decent enough computer. I can run Nvidia filters, but I don't, because it's like saying to myself, how about I make my game worse? Let's use Nvidia filters. Come and make my game run like dog shit. Let me run Nvidia filters. It won't really run like dog shit because I have a decent enough computer, but I'm then knowing in the back of my mind that I'm using something that is making my game run worse. Okay? Call of Duty is already unoptimized and I'm using programs and stuff like to make my game run like absolute dog shit. Now, you don't need to do that. You can use this right here. Okay, so your brightness at 50%, it's default settings for Windows. Your contrast at 65%, it's always been a sweet spot ever since fucking Modern Warfare, the first one came out basically, is 65 over here for all fucking games that you're going to be playing, all right? Have this at 65. Have your gamma at 1.00, it's defaults. All right, and then your digital vibrance will obviously be at 50% if you've never changed this before and you're running a default Windows and you haven't touched anything inside here, it will be at 50%. I highly recommend that you click on image 3 over here, so it's just a reference image, and then you go ahead and pull this up to whatever you would like to pull it to. So let's just say 65 is a very good place to be. You can pull this even more up, let's say 75. All right, let's just put it at 75 like this. You can put it over there. So if you have bad eyesight, I have 6/6 vision, so I have mine at 95% and it does not hurt my eyes. So it's just something I just want to point out there for my community, for the people that's out there that's watching my videos and that's always like, you know, leaving a like, leaving a comment, that subscribe to my channel and stuff like that. I care about you guys and I care about your well-being as well, as much as I care about you enjoying your gameplay and watching my videos and my videos helping you out. Okay, if you have bad eyesight, please don't put this at 95%. You're going to have headaches, constant headaches while playing this game. If you're constantly playing Warzone and that's all basically you're playing is Warzone and stuff like that and Modern Warfare and whatever the case might be, do not put this at 95, because every single thing that you're going to be doing on your computer is then going to stay like this at 95% digital vibrance. So even if you watch YouTube videos, the digital vibrance is going to be at 95. So the whole Windows is going to be applied to 95%. For me, it doesn't hurt my eyes, it doesn't kill me or anything like that, it doesn't break my eyes, it doesn't hurt my eyes or anything like that. But if you're wearing glasses or whatever the case might be, drop this down. Please go ahead and just use your arrow and then just drop it down to like, I don't know, like 70% should be fine, or you can go to like 65, you should be fine. Just don't have it at 50%. 50% is a default for Windows and it makes the whole Windows look washed out. It looks like you have like this dull on your screen and you don't want that. So please go ahead and choose your own personal preference when it comes to this. Mine is 95 like I said, and I like mine to be at 95. That's my own sweet spot, always been my sweet spot. And then you just say apply like this and you should be good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is very, very important for you to go ahead and do, and I highly recommend you go ahead and do this right now at this very moment. Please don't skip my fucking video. Please don't. You need to do every single step that I'm showing you in order so your games can run perfectly fine. We will get to Call of Duty just now. Just bear in mind that you need to do everything that I'm about to show you. Okay, now you're going to come to the search button over here and type in CMD just like this, and then right click on it and say run as administrator. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is if you left click, it's just going to say C user and then your name. Okay, you don't want it to do that because then you're not in your system files. Okay, so you're going to come to the search button over here again, type in CMD, and then right click on it and say run administrator, say yes to the command prompt, and then it's going to say C Windows System 32. This is what you want. Then what you're going to type is SFC spacebar / scan now, one word just like this, and then press enter. Once you press enter, it's going to start doing this, okay? It will verify your files of your Windows and everything inside your computer that everything is okay. All right. Now, if your Windows finds any files that's corrupted on your, let's say your C drive or any other drive on your computer, if it finds any corrupt files, it will automatically fix it for you. So this is literally free and easy to do. So please go ahead and scan your machine. Just do the scan. I don't know, go make you something to eat, take a slash, do whatever the fuck you want, listen to some music, chill the fuck out, let the scan run, finish on your machine. Please go ahead and do this. It's very, very important for you to know that your Windows is running correctly, because your Windows can actually make your game run like dog shit. So if your Windows isn't running correctly, obviously Call of Duty is not going to run correctly, and the rest of your games aren't running correctly as well. Okay, so please do the scan. It's very, very important. Okay, I'm not going to show you how this finishes and all that kind of bullshit, because it's taking quite some time, and it will take quite some time on your machine as well. It doesn't matter if you have an M.2 SSD hard drive, it doesn't matter. Just take your time with this, scan through here, and make sure that your Windows is perfectly fine. All right, let's jump straight into the game. Let me show you the best settings you can use right now at this very moment for Season 4 Reloaded. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are in the game right now, and we are in the display tab. I'm going to go over the quality tab and the view tab as well for every single person out there, because this is for every single person out there. It doesn't matter what user you are, if you're a low-end user, medium-end user, to a high-end user, to a nuclear fucking launching missile user. I don't know that you can launch nukes. It doesn't fucking matter if you have a NASA machine. It doesn't matter, all right? We're going to go over every single thing that you're going to need to change depending on the machine that you are currently running at this very moment. Now, something I just want to point out is this over here. As you can see at the bottom, it says other apps, and it says 0.88. So that's almost 1 gig it's using of other apps of my VRAM usage. Now, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, having background apps off will take that down, okay? So if you followed my video from the beginning to the end, you will have a significant decrease in that other app number. You'll see a significant decrease. Instead of it being at 2 gigs or 3 gigs or fucking 4 gigs, I've seen people with 4 gigs over there streaming on Twitch and stuff like that. It means they are running background apps, but it also means that they Twitch streamers, so they're using like OBS or Streamlabs, and they're using different monitors and applications and stuff like that. So more applications you run, the more other apps VRAM it will use, okay? Like I said, putting background apps off, it plays a very big role on this fucking game, okay? Trust me, it does, and you do not want your VRAM to be eaten up by other fucking programs that you don't fucking use. Now, obviously, mine's going to be at 88 because I use OBS to record and stuff like that, so it will be a little bit higher, but I can drop that even lower if I don't record. But I have to record to be able to speak to you guys, you know? So, anyways, as you can see, I'm currently running my game at full screen borderless. Now, on the right hand side, it literally tells you, literally spoon feeds you. You can literally just take your eyeballs that's currently in your skull, that's currently like in your fucking skull, your eyes that's in your socket of your skull, take them and put them fucking here and read what the fuck it says. Okay, that's literally all you need to do. But what I do in my videos is I spoon feed people, all right? And that's what I'm known to do, is absolutely fucking spoon feed people. I love doing it. I love, you know, like, people are uncertain when it comes to what they need to use, so I'm going to make you certain about what you should be using. Okay, number one is this. I'm running my game in full screen borderless mode because I have multiple monitors, okay? I have 3, and this is why I use full screen borderless. Now, if you are running 1 monitor, I highly recommend running your game at full screen exclusive. Please go ahead and do so if you're running 1 monitor. So 1 display, like a laptop display, or 1 monitor, just a normal monitor or gaming monitor, it does not matter. Use full screen exclusive if you have 1 monitor. Now, there's another thing. I had a lot of people commenting down below saying, yo, dude, I still use full screen exclusive even though I have multiple monitors and I can get away with it. Now, if you can get away with it and you're not seeing any stuttering, packet loss, or your game doesn't feel like dog shit while it's at full screen exclusive and you have multiple screens, then go ahead and obviously use common knowledge and use full screen exclusive. Now, windowed mode is something I would recommend because This is for people out there that's running lower end graphics cards. As you can see, the VRAM actually dropped when I hovered over the windowed version. So I went from here, as you can see, this doesn't change. As you can see, this doesn't change at all. So if I move this around, as you can see, like for instance, if I have this at full screen borderless, it's the same, right? And if I have full screen exclusive, it's the same. But if I go to windowed mode, there's less VRAM being used. So this is for people out there that's running lower end GPUs. I would recommend using the windowed version if you're struggling with FPS and if you're struggling in general with this fucking game. Go with windowed and you should be good to go. Go ahead and actually select it and use the windowed version. All right, let's jump straight into the next step. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the next step is this over here, which is the aspect ratio. Now, if you're very new to computers and you don't know what the fuck you're doing and you just bought a pre-built machine or whatever the case might be, just go to automatic and then you should be good to go. It will automatically pick up the monitor that you're currently running. So if you're running a gaming display or a normal monitor or a laptop display or whatever the case might be, it will automatically pick up what display you are running. Now, I run all my games at 16:9. That's just my own personal preference. Everyone has their own personal preference. Now, if you have like an ultra wide monitor and you're an enthusiast and you know what you're doing in the COD settings, then obviously it's common fucking knowledge that you're going to be using the wide 32:9 because 32:9 is ultra wide. As you can see here, 32:9, 32:9. So that's ultra wide, okay? As you can see, okay? So if you're not completely on ultra wide and it's a slight bit smaller, then it will be 21:9. That's just common fucking knowledge. You can literally just look here with your eyes. Yet again, use your eyeballs. Don't just listen. Use your fucking eyeballs and put them there where my mouse is over here and see what the fuck this does, okay? That's pretty much what they do. So it's fucking common knowledge, but Jesus Christ. If you don't want to hassle, just go with automatic and it will automatically select what you need to be using. All right, from here, this we're going to skip over because we're going to come back to this. It's very, very important. This option here is super, super important. It's probably the most important step you're going to need to do once we're done with everything that I'm about to show you. All right, display gamer, you're going to put yours at 2.2 if you're running a monitor, display, or just a gaming monitor in general. You're going to use it at 2.2. If you are using a TV, then you put this at 2.4. And yet again, on the right-hand side, just open your fucking eyes and read. If you are running this game on a TV, then you would select 2.4. Like me, I run this game on a 55-inch 4K Samsung curved smart Samsung TV. That's what I'm using currently, and obviously I'm going to use this. I'm not going to be retarded and put this here because I'm not running a monitor. I'm running a fucking TV, all right? So common knowledge. You need to at least know what the fuck you're selecting and why you're selecting it, okay? Don't just choose shit because you feel like choosing it. You need to select the correct things for the correct stuff, okay? Fucking Jesus Christ, it's not complicated. Holy Jesus Christ. Anyways, from here, brightness, please go ahead and change this from 50% to 55 or 60. Just don't put it over 60 because then your game starts looking very dulled out because then it's too bright. You do not want it to do its defaults, which is 50, yet again, almost like Windows display settings. You do not want it to be at 50 because then there's dark spots in the game and someone could be camping there in a dark spot and you can't see them, and then you run in there and you get shotgunned or some bullshit by a fire-breathing shotgun, and it's kind of annoying. So have at least at 55 or 60% on the brightness and you should be good to go. All right, constant mouse to game window is something that's pretty cool, but I'm not going to go over this every single video that I make. It's a very cool feature, but yeah. So this just helps you not get onto your other screens while you're in the menu, basically. So if I apply this, I can't get off the screen, okay? And then when I turn it off, I can get to my left side screen, and now I can get to my right side screen, right? Pretty much that's what it does. It's, I guess, a cool feature. I don't know. I don't know why Call of Duty implemented it in the first place. They smoke crack. We all know it. Fuck it. All right. Now, this is something that, yet again, for fuck's sakes, open your fucking eyes and read what the fuck it says. But a lot of people get confused with what the fuck this actually even means. They're like, I don't even understand this. What do they mean by this? Like, what's going fucking on here? You know, so let me explain this. Okay. All right. So it will say off, which I never recommend anyone to do. Don't ever put this off. On or on plus boost. Okay, so on plus boost is if you are CPU bound cases, and then on is if you're on a GPU bound case. So on plus boost is if you have a shitty CPU and you have a much better graphics card than your CPU. So your GPU is much better than your CPU, okay? And then on is if your CPU is much better than your GPU. Most people out there in general that's playing this game buys graphics cards more than what they would buy a newer generation CPU. They would buy a newer generation graphics card. So the best thing would be is on plus boost. That's why most people have this on plus boost in the first place, okay? I can have mine on, I can have mine on plus boost. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't do anything for me, but just don't put this off. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to leave this on plus boost. Most people use this on plus boost because it's just obviously most people use better GPUs than what they use CPUs. So we'll obviously go all out and buy a newer GPU than what they would buy a CPU. So have this on plus boost. 95% of the community, actually almost 100% of the community has this on plus boost. Leave it there and you should be good to go. Just for the love of fuck, do not turn this off. If you turn this off, you're going to have problems with your game. Turn it to on plus boost and you should be good to go. All right, from here, you're going to go to eco mode preset and have this a custom VSync. And this is the gameplay's VSync. Now, what this will do is it will cap your FPS to the refresh rate of your monitor. So let's say 60, 120, 144, 240, 300, 350, whatever the case might be, okay? If you put that to 100%, it will cap your refresh rate and your FPS to your refresh rate, okay? But the only reason why you would put this on is to cap your FPS, and also, number one reason why this is a thing, to turn on or off, is if you're getting screen tearing like that. Yet again, it's showing you on the right-hand side, yet again, I'm going to say it again, open your fucking eyes, okay? Jesus Christ, open your eyes and look. Why does this happen? Like, read what the fuck it says. But anyways, a lot of people don't understand this. I mean, they're not so, like, I don't know, like into these settings and stuff like that. They just want the best settings, and I'm trying to give it to you, okay? So if you're not getting screen tearing while playing your game, turn it the fuck off. I've never seen anyone getting screen tearing in their game while being in the menus, because it says VSync for menus, but I'm guessing this is to cap your FPS to the refresh rate of your monitor while you're in the menus. You can then go ahead and put it 100% and leave it there. I leave mine off because I always have my FPS on unlimited. As you can see here, FPS is always on unlimited. A lot of people go to custom and then customize their own personal preference, and you can go ahead and do that if you want to. It's your own personal preference. I cannot tell you what to do here. I physically can't, okay? So you can have this at, I don't know, if you're doing, let's make an example, okay? Let's say when you're in game, the highest FPS that you hit with your graphics card is, let's say 240, right? Let's just say it hits 240. Then leave it at 240 over here. Then it says menu custom frame rate limit, okay? Let's just say your screen is 144 hertz. Then put it at 144. Leave it like that. Then out of focus mode, meaning you're not even on your game, I don't know, you tabbed out or something, leave it at 30, okay? And you should be good to go. But I don't play around with this. I really fucking don't. I just leave this at 300. And then what I do is I go over here and I leave this unlimited. And I leave my custom frame rate limit unlimited, so I do unlimited frames all the time. I let my GPU do its work. That's what it's meant to do. My GPU is meant to work as hard as it can while I'm playing games, okay? Once I close this fucking game, it's not going to use unlimited settings and unlimited FPS because I'm not even in the fucking game anymore. My GPU is not going to jump out the fucking box and run out my front door, then I need to chase it and ask it, why is it running away? And he's going to be like, no, you put me on unlimited and you're going to kill me. That is not a thing, ladies and gentlemen. Please, for the love of fuck, don't listen to people that tell you that you need to fucking customize your FPS. It's not a thing. Like, it's really not a thing. But if you want to listen to those people, all out, listen to them. Like, I couldn't give two shits, honestly. Like, I couldn't give Jack shit, and Jack left town, so let's leave it as is. All right, so menu render resolution, you can have this at native, and then your pause game rendering, you can have this off, and your focus mode is something that a lot of people don't understand. Okay, focus mode is this. If you have multiple monitors, like me, I have another 2 monitors, and then my main screen, which I'm playing my Call of Duty on right now. So if you put this at 100%, you say apply, both my screens, my extra screens, went completely black right now, so I can focus just on my main screen. okay? Then if I put it all the way to 0 and apply it, then I can see on my left and right hand side screen now. Now I monitor my YouTube on my left hand side screen, and then I monitor my Discord on my right hand side screen. So I don't need to use this, but it's a cool feature, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, Call of Duty smokes crack. I guess if you're that lazy to turn off your fucking monitors, if you're a very lazy ass person and you just want to not get out of your fucking gaming chair, then you can just do this and say apply. Then your other screens go off and they look black. That's about it. And you just go to 0 again once you want them on. It's pretty easy and simple to do. Okay? All right, let's jump straight into the quality tab. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are in the quality tab right now, and I have my resolution at 200% at 4K, and then I have my game at Fidelity FX Cache at 50%. This is how I play my game right now at this very fucking moment. Okay, this is my personal preference with the reloaded version for Call of Duty. Now, I'm not saying that you should do this, because if you have a low-end machine, your game's going to run like absolute fucking dog shit, and you're going to want to throw your computer out your fucking window. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to come in here and type in 100% and press enter, okay? And it will do the native resolution of your monitor. Please go ahead and do that. So let's say it's 720p, 1080p, 1440p, or 4K. Whatever it is, have it at 100%. Always have it at 100% with your lower end graphics cards. And if you're struggling, or even with a high end graphics card and you're still struggling, go with 100% of here, not 200. Go with 100% and you should be good to go. Right. From here is this over here. You obviously have so many upscalings to choose from, and there are so many to choose from in general, depending on the machine that you are currently running right now at this very moment. Now, Intel, this one over here, is actually a really good upscaling for people out there that is running, like, let's say a 20 series graphics card and the equivalent on AMD side, or a 30 series graphics card and the equivalent on AMD side as well. You can go with this and then have this at quality or at balance. Please just don't put this at performance, because you're going to rip out your own eyes, because it looks like absolute dog shit, and the game, it looks really blurry and it just looks fucked up. So have it at balance or at quality and you should be good to go. And then if you do have a very, 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 very powerful house hungry machine, you can go ultra quality. But I wouldn't recommend it, because the game's unoptimized, fucked, broken, and unresponsive, and just retardedly stupid, and crack smokers made this game. So I would recommend quality or balance and you should be good to go. Then we're going to go to DLSS. A lot of people do use DLSS. I used to use it as well, but I now have my own personal preference of what I use. Everyone has their own personal preference. A lot of people do use this over here, Nvidia DLSS. I would recommend running the game at quality then, or at balance. Do not run this at performance unless you are not reaching really good FPS. Then I would go with performance. But I wouldn't want to. And I wouldn't recommend it to any one of you guys out there at all. Like, just don't put this at performance. Balance, like, just fucking balance, or quality if your machine can handle it, okay? Then, if you're using a Nvidia DLSS and you have a 40 series graphics card, you can put Nvidia DLSS frame generation on if you want to. It's your own personal preference. Don't leave a comment down below. Yo, dude, but if I put Nvidia frame generation on, my game's stuttering and it feels like dog shit. That's your own personal fucking preference. Like, Jesus Christ, like, you do not need to leave a comment telling me that you left it off or that you put it on. Like, I get the point, okay? I'm telling you personally, if you want to turn this on, frame generation, which is AI created frames, then turn it the fuck on. If you don't want it on, then turn it the fuck off. Personal preference. Cool. Okay. Now, Nvidia DLSS, Nvidia DLA. Something that I always skip over. Why? Because it's shit. That's why. Okay. Nvidia image scaling. A lot of people use this as well. And it's something that a lot of people do use at ultra quality. Please then use this at ultra quality. If you're using the video image scaling, ultra quality, this is your own personal preference. I have mine at 30. Copy mine as is if you want to. But then just always, with every single thing I'm about to show you right now, have this at 80%, okay? The only reason why you would drop this down is when I get to that. I'll tell you when you need to drop this down, okay? So 80% here, always, with everything about I was already showing you. So with this one, and this one, 80%, please. Okay. Then obviously you're going to have this at your ultra quality, or you can have it at native. So it runs your native resolution. So 720p, 1080p, 1440p, 4K, whatever the case might be, 2K, doesn't matter, right? Native. You can use native. You can go with it and try it out and test it out and see it for yourself. Okay. Then we can go over here and go to AMD FSR 1.0. I don't really recommend AMD FSR 1.0 because it's not that great. It runs okay, but it's not that great. The better option would obviously be AMD FSR 3.0, and you go with a native over here, or you can go with quality. I would go with native, so it does your native resolution. Yet again, the resolution of your monitor. I'm not going to keep repeating myself with the 720p and fucking 1440p and all that bullshit. Native is native. It runs the native resolution of your monitor. You get my fucking point, okay? So you go here, AMD FSR native, and then you put frame generation for AMD on, and this works for Nvidia and AMD. So take advantage of it to create AI frames. Now, if you don't want AI frames to be created in your game, turn it the fuck off and leave it the fuck off. Yet again, own personal preference. Okay, then you get Fidelity FX Cache, which I'm currently using right now with Season 4 Reloaded. Fidelity FX Cache just makes the game look much sharper. I can see my enemies easier, and in general, it also gives me a lot of FPS. But I play my game at 4K, so it doesn't give me that much FPS. But my game runs over 120, over 130 FPS while I'm in 4K, and I'm running Fidelity FX Cache. And it doesn't matter where I am on the map, it doesn't matter what I do, it's always above 100. It's always above 120 or 110. It will sometimes dip into like 199 and then back up to 100 and shit. So I run my game at 4K, and this is how I run it. It runs perfectly fine like this, and my game runs fucking fantastic, and the game looks really, really good at 4K. I'm not gonna lie, 2K is also very good, and then 1440p is very good as well. I'm not gonna say that 1080p isn't, because 1080p is also absolutely fantastic. 1080p is still classified as HD. Even 720p is classified as HD. But obviously, we're in 2024, ladies and gentlemen. 1080p and higher would be the way to go. All right. From here, this is what I want to recommend. When you choose AMD FSR 3.0 native, please go ahead and have this at 80 if you have a decent graphics card. If you've got a lower generation graphics card and you know you got something like a 20 series or 10 series and the equivalent on AMD side, drop this to 60% and then press enter on your keyboard and you should be good to go. Trust me, you will be good to go. When it comes to lower generation graphics cards, now you're going to have to do this not just with AMD FSR 3.0, you're going to have to do this with Fidelity FX Cache as well. Please go ahead and do that. One thing I'm going to recommend is, and I'll always recommend it, do not turn this the fuck off. You need upscaling in this game because the game is so unoptimized. Do not fucking turn this off. Please don't take advantage of anyone inside here that runs perfectly fine on your specific machine. I can't please every single person, but I can at least try. All right? So just don't put this off. Then you should be good to go. All right, from here, what I would recommend is texture resolution. There's not a lot of difference between high and normal. Okay, then when you get your lower end graphics cards, like people that's trying to still run this game on an RX 580, or people that's getting away with a 1060 and a 1070 and a 1080, then I would recommend low over here. Have it at low over there, and your game won't look any different between normal and low. There's not a lot of visual difference. You can go low, just don't go very low, because then you're going to want to throw your PC out the window of how bad the quality is. Low is okay, all right? Then over here, you can go with normal. Yet again, do not go with low. Normal or high. I choose mine on high because of my GPU that I'm running. They're both on high, as you can see at this current moment, and it runs perfectly fine. All right. A depth of field. Who plays with depth of field? Turn it the fuck off. Leave it the fuck off, and done. All right. Detail quality level. I have mine at normal because my GPU can handle it perfectly fine, so I can have my game run normal, basically. But if you want more FPS out of your game and you know you're struggling with FPS, put this at low over here. All right, this over here, the particle resolution, very low. I leave mine at very low. I can push it up, but I don't need to. I don't need to see fucking particles. Honestly, I really don't need to see them. I'm concentrating on fucking people up in the game, not fucking particles. All right, bullet impacts, leave this on. It has no impact on your CPU or your GPU or your RAM. It does say low over here, meaning that it does not have a lot of impact on your GPU and then your CPU as well. It does not have a lot of impact. It doesn't do anything, in fact. Look, I've literally tested all these things. Your FPS drops by like 2 FPS. Literally 2 frames per second. Are you going to care about that 2 frames by turning this on or off? And you want this on, because if someone is standing inside this building, you'll notice that there's shit happened in this building. But then when you have it off, you don't see the bullet holes. And you go in there and you're like, no one's been in here. And then there's a guy waiting there with a shotgun or a riot shield, or you know how Call of Duty is. You get my point. All right. From here, you're going to go to this over here where it says shader quality. I'm running a 4070 Super, a 14 700K, and I run this at low. Please, you also run it at fucking low. Do not put this at medium or high. You do not need to see the reflections of water of something above. You can still look, like for instance, if you open a door in a building and look up, right? You will still see the shadow of a person that's standing on a roof looking down at you. You'll still see him. Don't worry, you'll still see him. You do not need to have this at high to be able to see them. Just to mention that to you guys. All right. Then on-demand texture streaming, I have mine currently on just to test it. And to be honest with you, it's fucking dog shit. Turn it the fuck off. Leave it the fuck off. And I highly recommend you leave it the fuck off. All right. This one over here, local texture streaming quality, normal for every single graphics card out there. It doesn't matter for every single fucking GPU out there. Normal over here. Now, shadow and lighting plays a massive role on FPS in this game and how this game performs. You are going to leave this at very low, this at off, this at off, always off, leave it the fuck off. I tried out both just to see if my game looks a slight bit better. I tried every single setting on fucking extreme to see if my game's gonna run better, if buildings are gonna render in quicker. No, they don't. The game's fucked. So turn it off if you don't need it, all right? This one over here, screen space reflections, turn it the fuck off as well. And then static reflection quality, low over here as well. Then over here where it says environment. Now, I try to test all of these things. As you can see, they've been changed by me. And I tried near, I tried the volumetric quality at medium. I tried this at low and then off and off, right? I tried this just to see if my game actually does look a slight bit better. It fucking doesn't. It really doesn't. There's no fucking difference. All right. So what I would recommend is off. It's just an FPS hogger. This at low. It's just an FPS hogger. This at off. Turn it the fuck off. Leave it the fuck off and done. And then off, off, always off. Leave it the fuck off and then done. And then you're going to apply these settings and then that will be applied. And you're going to come to the view tab. Now that we're in the view tab, you can copy my settings as is or not. It's your own personal preference. But one thing I would recommend is this one over here, inverted flash. Please go ahead and turn this on and take advantage of this. Instead of you being flashed completely fucking white, that it looks like an actual flashbang landed in your room, turn this on, then your screen will go black instead of white when you get flashbanged. Then film grain at 0.00. Please go ahead and have this like this. Then have this off and have this off as well. All right. Now, from here, you're going to come to the interface and you're going to come to color customization. Come over here and then have you at your own personal color. I mean, you can choose your own color over here or go to custom color and then literally fucking customize your own fucking color. I'm just going to go basic color and then leave it as is and then leave it as is. Just like that, all right? Then your team and your party should be the same color. So this blue over there and then that blue over there, exactly the same. So your team and your party is exactly the same. All right. Then your enemy is your own personal preference. Yet again, you can choose your own personal preference, but I highly recommend go to custom color and then choose a custom color. I have mine as magenta pink. Nothing in this game is really magenta pink, like nothing on the maps are magenta pink unless the characters are gun skins. Yeah, then there's pink skins, but not physical objects on the map, not buildings and stuff. They're not pink. They're physically fucking not pink. So having your enemy pinged at pink, or when they capture a flag or whatever fucking multiplayer you're playing, or Warzone, when you ping an enemy is magenta pink and it's much easier to spot. So I highly recommend you go ahead and copy my settings as is over here and you should be good to go. Right, from here you're going to come to color filter. The best color filter still today, even with season 4 reloaded, is filter 2. There is a filter 3, ladies and gentlemen, but I don't recommend it. Filter 2, both over here, 100%, and you should be good to go. Now, the most important step you're going to need to do for all of these things to apply to your machine is this right here. All right, so this is the most important thing that you're going to need to do once you have done and applied everything to your specific settings, for your specific liking, to your own personal preference, and you have your settings the way it should be for your machine. You're going to click on restart, shader preloading, and click on restart. Okay, once you click on restart, you're going to need to do this. Okay, you press escape, 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 you press escape. Then it's going to ask you if you want to quit your desktop. You're going to say yes to this, then restart your game. In fact, once you're on your desktop, restart your computer. Then restart your computer, come back into Call of Duty, launch the game through Battle.net or Steam. Then at the top left over here, it's going to say installing shaders, and then let the shaders install finish from 0 to 100%. Once it hits 100% over here, you're going to click on anything here, a game mode or anything, and then a square block will pop up over here and it will say that it's 100% complete, and then you should be good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, if this worked for you, smash that like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel for your new year. If this really fucking actually helped you by a lot, and it saved you time, it saved you money, it saved you effort, leave a super thanks down below. There's a super thanks button down below. It will help me, and it will show me that you guys are supporting my YouTube channel. It really means a lot to me. It honestly does. I try my best to help the gaming community as best I can when it comes to Call of Duty, because Call of Duty in general, as Activision, the company, smokes a lot of crack, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. As always, ladies and gentlemen, hope this helped you, and peace